What a welcome. I haven't really been that emotional in the past couple weeks. I don't think I've had time to be emotional, but as I walked on this stage, that's when it started to hit me. So I'm going to do my best to make it through this in a timely manner. But in the fall of 2003, I had been on campus for a couple weeks. It was the day of the annual red-white scrimmage, and it'd be my first time wearing a Husker uniform. And I was on the court to get some extra setting reps, of course, and I was just sitting down by myself in the middle, cross-legged, a couple tears, and I took it all in and couldn't believe I was there living a dream. An assistant coach came down and asked, what are you doing? I told her, I can't believe I'm here. Today, as I stand before you all, I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be living yet another dream. Nebraska is more than an athletics program, more than a volleyball program. It's a way of life. It's an inspiration. It brings people together. It's empowering, and it means more than words could ever explain. President Gold, Troy, Kristen, thank you for believing in me and trusting me to continue the legacy of Nebraska volleyball. It's been a crazy and hectic 7 days, but Nebraska always does it bigger and better. The attention to detail and the special care of this program always shows up when it's needed the most. This transition has set a new standard for women's volleyball, once again showing the world just how big women's sports can be. When I heard they were sending buses to Adams, I was blown away, and to see all the Freeman Falcons in the building is pretty incredible welcoming. And look at this place, the arena being full with 1,000 people at 2 p.m. on a work day, honoring a legend and welcoming a new coach. There's nowhere else in the world that this could happen. I might argue there's no other sport in the world where something like this could happen. Listen. My family, I mean, if you know Jean and Bonnie, you know they are the biggest supporters out there. I've already warned Lindsay to get ready for Bonnie and her request, gear, tickets, special seats, so just be prepared. But growing up, you know, they rarely missed a game, whether it was softball, volleyball, basketball. I can probably count on one hand the games they missed. And now they've been the biggest cheerleaders as my journey from Tennessee and back to Nebraska and everywhere in between, making as many games as they possibly could. Some of my old athletes be like, are your parents seriously driving again? I'm like, yep, they love to drive. That's the true Nebraskan. So they'll get in the car and drive anywhere. And to Lane and my husband, thank you for the unconditional love and support. A coach's spouse might be the hardest job in the world, but Lane makes it look easy, and I'm not just talking about the hours he spends on the golf course. But our lives started right here, from the days eating lunch together at the training table, and then Keith Zimmer having to separate us during study hall, and then Lane tossing me volleyballs, and myself attempting to catch his long snaps. We formed an amazing relationship with Nebraska athletics right in the middle. And fast forward to a couple moves across the country, and you pacing the corridor with fellow dads at Final Fours. I couldn't do this without you. And sharing these experiences alongside our growing family with you is more amazing than I could have ever imagined. And now being able to bring our son back into the Husker family and welcoming a new boy into this amazing culture of athletics is something so precious to us. And I'm already looking forward to the NIL deals coming across my desk from Coach Hoiberg and Coach Rule in about 15 years. In an interview, Troy said he was impressed that I bet on myself, and said it again today, and I took a chance to leave Nebraska. The University of Louisville, Tom Jurich, Vince Tyree, and Josh Herds, they made it a layup of a bet. And Louisville became the best home away from home, and the support and staff of the university made that city fanatics. And everything I tried to do there was like, what can we do to get close to what Nebraska does? And I'm so appreciative that they gave us the support to do that and to help me in my journey to get back here. But the biggest thank you of all goes to John Cook. I've thought about our relationship over the years, from player coach, assistant head coach, to peer, to mentor, and of course, friend. There hasn't been anyone as steady in my career as you. So thank you a million times over for shaping me into someone that you could trust with such a special task. When Louisville came here in 2021 and beat the Huskers, I walked up to shake Coach's hand, but he immediately opened his arms and gave me a hug to tell me he was so proud of the way my team played. And that's a core memory for me and just speaks volumes of how proud John is of his former players and always will be in our corner. But I can't wait to continue raising the level of women's volleyball in this country and, of course, hang some new banners in this arena. And I will do everything in my power to make you proud. As we start the new chapter of Nebraska volleyball together, I want you all to understand the people in this program will do everything in our power to continue the tradition from Pat Summitt, Terry Pettit, and John Cook. Jalen, Kelly, and Lindsay staying on board is a testament that this program isn't and never will be just about one person. It's about this state. And we will work tirelessly for the people that love the Huskers. To the 2025 team, I can't wait to get to know you and work with you. We'll approach each day with fire in our bellies and love in our heart for everybody that supports us. John said it a few days ago, I'm gonna dress a little better than he does, and we'll probably have a little more fun off the court, but the core values and the mission behind Nebraska volleyball will always remain the same. And thank you again, Husker Nation. This has been a homecoming fit for a queen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani. At this time, I'd like to invite up Jessica Cootie, who's going to have a Q&A with Coach Busboom Kelly.
Wow, what an honor. What a great speech, too. I got to start because we've heard a lot about your position switch from setter to libero, and Coach Cook told the story so well last week. Give us your perspective of that, and why was that such a monumental moment and year for you and your journey?
Well, I was going to set the record straight, and then I knew you were going to ask the question, but I did not say those two words to John. Now, I think maybe he believes I did because he could probably feel it like permeating from my eyes and my body language. But yeah, it was a tough time in my career, and I had spent 3 years as a setter, and we'd been number one for pretty much the whole season for 2 of those years, and I felt like I had done the work. But you know, I knew that for the best thing for the team was for me to switch positions, and it took a lot. He's true, I did sort of disappear. Now, it was Christmas break, so, but I think I turned my phone off for, it might have even been more than 3 days. It was more like five days, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. But I came back and knew that this is what I had to do. And I'll never forget, I don't even know if John remembers this, but in the press conference during the red-white scrimmage, he said, you know, I think Dani's going to be the best libero in the country. And to me, that's when I felt that confidence. I knew that team was going to be special, and I knew that I could do it for the team. So it ended up being great. It's what led me into coaching. I had my best year, favorite year at Nebraska was my senior year.
We've heard a couple times mention the group from Adams and Freeman High School over there. How did growing up there and playing all the sports there shape you into the athlete and now coach that you became?
Yeah, well, the population has grown quite a bit. I think, it's at like 600. When I was in school, it was more like 450. So when grow up in a town that's small, you're really everybody plays everything. And so you really get to experience so many different teammates and so many different roles, and you can pick things up from every sport. And and the roles you play and the type of teammate you have to be. And so it really, I always encourage everybody to play as many sports as they can until that point when you're forced to pick one. But it was amazing, a high school career.
At what point did you realize it was a dream of yours to come back and lead this program?
Well, I don't think I'd have realized it was a dream. It was more realizing that this opportunity could actually happen. And I don't know if there was a moment that it clicked. It was more just the conversations I'd have with John on the road, the success we were having in Louisville. It's like I just believed in my heart that someday that I'd get an opportunity to come back here. I didn't know when, but I knew that I would be incredibly proud and excited if that came.
He's told some stories about you here recently. Now that you're on the mic, do you have any stories you can tell us about Coach Cook?
You know, I was trying to think of funny stories, and I'm going to save some of those, I think, to like sprinkle those throughout the year. And since this feels like an emotional day, just one thing that, again, a lot of people don't know this, but my brother was in an accident where he fractured his femur and broke his femur. And John made it a point to drive out to our house and just sit and talk with him because he had had a similar injury. And that really, again, speaks volumes of how much he cares about his players, not just as athletes. And now that I have a family of my own, it's like the time is so precious. And for him to take that time to do that, looking back, it meant even more than I even realized at the time.
What were some of the lessons and philosophies that you took away from playing and then coaching with him that you applied to your own coaching philosophies?
Number one, I think you all know that John is a continual learner. You know, he was like learning to fly at one point. Now he's roping, and he's always got something that he's learning to do. And that goes with coaching too. He's always sending assistants out and himself to watch other teams train and, you know, to take as much as we can from those people around us. And that's something that's, I think, allowed me to be the best version of myself. Is I don't know it all. I'm always looking and working to get better. And then one thing John always has done at an incredibly high level is let those around him maximize their strengths. And I think that's so important in the sport of volleyball. When you have it's a team sport, the ultimate team sport. The staff needs to be the ultimate team and model that each and every day.
What excites you the most about taking over this program?
Number one, it would be Husker Nation. That goes without saying. And just the support every day. And then number two, I think this team sitting right here. And again, I want to thank them for the support they've already shown me in 7 days. And I know this is a really amazing team coming back, and I couldn't be more excited to get in the gym and get on the journey to accomplishing our goals together.
You played here, you coached here, you went away for a little bit. What perspective did you gain of the support for this program and Husker volleyball while you were gone?
You know, it's funny because it's not that I forgot about how crazy Husker fans are, but I think I'd put it in the back of my mind. And so I'm sitting here watching this setup and hearing about the buses to Freeman. I'm like, this is a bit much, but it's amazing. And just the fact that Nebraska continues to elevate women's sports in this country and the sport of volleyball and giving us opportunities to do things that haven't been done before. And Nebraska's always in the forefront. And it's amazing to be a part of that.
Great stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.